Many businesses get stuck. They either try to do more with less and miss opportunities, or their customer base grows too quickly and they fail to meet expectations. They could really benefit from call management technologies like call centers use. For example, many small companies just need a simple system to place customers on hold to resolve the fact that many potential customer calls are missed due to a busy line, or because they don't want to leave a voicemail. And larger companies, who have a greater call volume, need to direct customers to the right teams and available employees automatically, virtually eliminating missed or misrouted calls, all while tracking valuable data to help them dynamically adapt to changes in call volume. Unfortunately, many companies simply don't think of their business like a call center. Nigel felt the same way until he talked to his TDS representative about a few issues his small IT business was experiencing. His company was going through some growing pains. His office manager, Rhonda, was overwhelmed by calls, and, depending on the time of day, his support, engineering, and parts teams were either receiving no calls, were overwhelmed, or receiving calls meant for other groups. Nigel could see that calls and workloads weren't balanced, but he couldn't afford to add new staff. His only option was to somehow make his business run more efficiently. Sam, Nigel's account manager, happened to call to check up on how Nigel's new managed IP hosted solution was working for him. Once Sam learned about his challenges, he immediately knew the call center's solution, available with managed IP hosted service, would be the perfect fit. He explained that managed IP call center maximizes a business's resources by intelligently routing calls to available staff. It also helps balance workloads on a team and provides data on patterns in call volume to assist when scheduling staff, resulting in improved productivity. Nigel was excited as long as he didn't have to invest in any additional hardware. Sam assured him that a small monthly fee is all that's needed to add this service onto his managed IP hosted solution, and that TDS invests in the equipment so businesses of all sizes can take advantage of the service with no upfront capital expense. Sam informed him that Call Center was available with his existing service and that TDS owns, manages and maintains it just like we do with his managed IP voice service. Once Nigel saw he could purchase just what he wanted and add capacity as needed, they immediately got started by looking at helping his support team. These 5 employees handled basic system and hardware issues, which are the bulk of Nigel's incoming calls, but these calls were not routed equally. So, some employees received more calls than others. At times no calls were coming in, or suddenly everyone was busy, and calls went unanswered, or to the wrong team member. Both the parts and high-end support teams had similar problems. Parts disliked getting support calls they didn't know how to answer, and high-end support engineers felt misrouted calls were tying up their ability to serve top-tier clients. After understanding these issues, Sam quickly identified the need for 3 call centers, so calls to each of Nigel's teams would be routed to available members automatically. Nigel could also manage calls differently for different employees, so his seasoned staff got more calls, allowing newer employees to work to their potential while they were learning. This would help free Rhonda up from searching for who's available one by one. However, too many calls were still coming in for her to route to each team manually. Sam suggested adding an auto attendant so customers could select the team they needed by pressing 1 for support, 2 for parts, and 3 for engineering. Nigel liked that this could help him look like a larger, more professional business, but he didn't want to lose that personal touch or allow customers to contact his premium service engineers directly. Sam assured him that each call center is customizable, with different hold music and messages that reassure the customer that their call is important and being handled as quickly as possible. It can also provide the caller estimated wait times, so they can choose to continue to hold, be routed elsewhere, or leave a message to be called back. With the auto attendant routing calls for engineering directly to Rhonda, she could provide the hands-on service that those customers expect before transferring them to the engineering call center. Nigel loved this idea, but premium service calls frequently ran longer, so he wanted to make sure his high-end customers didn't have to wait on hold. Sam explained that by using customized routing policies, they could overlap call centers. That way, if the engineers were tied up, callers would be routed to the basic support team to begin documenting all the information the engineers would need to call the customer back. This could be set up to happen automatically or set to a specific amount of time after the caller was on hold. Now that he's added Call Center to his managed IP hosted solution, Nigel's business is really humming. Rhonda has time to actually manage the office. She even took on a quality assurance role, supervising the call centers and analyzing the performance statistics she gets via email each morning or in real time through the enhanced reporting module. This data showed her when a new employee was ready to receive more calls, and how staggering employee schedules to cover later hours would help eliminate idle times for staff. The reports even helped her see the opportunity to let a few employees keep flexible schedules and work remotely, in order to take after-hour calls and accommodate times when call volumes might spike. As the supervisor, she can use online tools to manage all calls in real time, allowing her the flexibility to make changes on demand, like reordering higher priority customers so they are cared for sooner. This tool is so helpful that the engineers have begun to use an agent version to get specific statistics on their own performance and their call centers. Thanks to managedIP Call Center and a little help from Rhonda, there are no more misrouted calls. If a customer picks the wrong team, an employee simply transfers them to the right one. Workloads are more balanced, and as Nigel's business now has the appearance of a much larger company, his customers are even more impressed with how fast and personal the service is, and they're telling their friends. Good thing TDS Call Center and managedIP hosted solutions have the ability to grow, along with Nigel's business, well into the future.